It looks like we are live. So I'm going to say hello, everyone, and welcome to a terrible stream for terrible people. I would ask how you're doing, but I just know I'm doing not great. Yeah. Uh, Last week, like normally, I would ask what you've been up to, how's it gone, and then say what I've been up to. But many of you know. In fact, a huge number of you know. But I should say it before going on and on. But yes, last Thursday, um, the Sic Kitty, um, we had to have her put to sleep. She she wasn't in a good state. She'd lost a bunch of weight. She had what we thought was an abscess, and it turned out to be a pretty big tumor and growing. And she was not doing well. And it would have been cruel for us to do anything other than let her go. So we did. And it was the worst day. It was just the worst. Yeah. So that happened. But I for Friday's post, I instead of posting what I normally would, which would be um explaining what the video or vaguely sort of alluding to what was the content of the video, I didn't have the mind for it. So I said what had happened, and I also said, also there's a video out. Go check it out. It's good, and the video is doing well, which is helpful to say the least. But it was the overwhelming support and stories and everything else, and that's got like that post has like 4,000 likes, which they really like is such a weird interaction because I know what the likes mean, and it doesn't mean I'm glad your your pet died, but it is how you could take it, and yeah. And so this stream, I ummed and ahed about whether or not to do a stream today, and I thought, well, after the weekend, me and Miss Sick and the kids, we spent a lot of time, lots of cuddling, lots of crying, and lots of distraction. And we got round to today, and I hadn't cried today. Nearly, but I haven't. I hope I can keep that record for this whole stream, but I'm not convinced. Get to hear me cry live. We'll see. We'll make bets on that, eh? But yeah, I thought this is something that I need to chat to you guys about. This is something that I need to get off of my chest. If I don't, it'll be kind of an elephant in the room thing. And even though it does kind of, it's it's a little bit what's the word I'm looking for? Self-indulgent. It's not even a word. Yeah, it's a little bit self-indulgent to do an entire stream about how I'm currently feeling, but at the same time, yeah, if we can get it out of the way now, I think it might come up in future episodes. But let's just do the thing. Mrs. Sick is here. She doesn't have to talk if she doesn't want to.
Hello.
She just did. Now she has to talk constantly. That's just how that works. She actually did.
No, I'm gonna go to the toilet.
She did. She actually streamed today, which we were super unsure about whether or not we should or she should. But it went really well actually, and had a lot of people. It was like the best live stream. We're not sure if it's just because she was doing the DLC for this particular game, or because people are thinking about us. And either way, it was helpful. Yeah, but I've seen a few people who shared that they've lost little guys in the last this week, and um, just give me a sec. My condolences to them, and thank you in return. And again, to everybody else, there's like hundreds of comments on that post and thousands of likes, which means people saw and didn't know what to say, basically. It sucks about pets. They don't live as long as we do. Some of them do. We've been thinking about getting a turtle. I mean, it's half a joke, but I would definitely rather be mourned by a pet than the other way around. So yeah, it's one of the things. Like she was very annoying. She would do things that drove me crazy, and I think she would find it very, very funny to know that she broke all our hearts. No, not doing it. There we go. Take her mic off before she goes to the toilet. She she often forgets we hear everything. Bad joke, sorry. Does her peeing come through on her streams? Because if they did, that's very funny. Mm. Oh, get a parrot. You could train it to say really messed up shit that people will have to endure 200 years ago. But 200 years from now, do parrots live that long? That can't be right. Not that long. But yeah, so I thought that I've got lots of things running around in my head. Some of the things is like maybe some advice, maybe something that might help some of you avoid some pain, some of the decisions. As you well know, we thought we were going to have to pay £1,000, and it was going to, because she went for a dentist appointment thing. That's what she was there for, and obviously that didn't work out. But it was going to be about £1,000, and that was really, we're like, we have to, because she's not doing very well, and we want her to be better. But you know, it can be quite hard to convince yourself to do that. Like, we don't have a whole heap of money, and we didn't have insurance, but we have, we had enough. Here's the thing. Here's the stupid thing, the mistake that I want to own up to, and it's that we should have gotten her pet insurance years ago, but we never did because it always felt too expensive. But when you come to the actual things, if you've got a pet, if you have the means to afford it, save yourself some heartache and get some pet insurance. Like, if it's inexpensive enough. If it's not, then you're fucked. Like, the thing is, like, we got her initially when we were very poor. It was a friend had them, was giving them away, looking for homes, and we took her in. Um, but at that time, because we were so poor, that might seem irresponsible, and maybe it was, but also the local veterinary hospital had free pet care if you were under a certain threshold of income, which we very much were. But that changed, and when that changed, it changed the sort of how we dealt with it. Like, most of the time, like, she had something wrong with her, we would take her to the vets, and it would be £100 a pop, which is not nothing. But yeah, if we'd have had insurance, I think we would have taken her for more. This is where I'm going. This is what I'm trying to get at. If we'd have had insurance, we would have taken her for regular checkups, because it wouldn't have cost £100 a go. Like, that adds up quickly. If you take them every month, that's £1,000 and change every single year. That is not nothing. That is the kind of money that you can do stuff with that. And yeah. And so you can only hope. And she was very healthy up until her last year, and then she started getting problems. She was 16 years old. This is something that you've got to bear in mind as well. When you're, especially a cat, when they get over about 12 years of age, they're considered quite old. And if they get to 15, they are very old. She didn't seem it at the time, but she was, old. No, don't blame yourself. It's hard not to. The thing is, everybody has 20/20 hindsight. you see back and everything you did, every decision you made, every time you thought, I'm sure they'll get better. And the thing is, like, up until that point, every time the cat got sick, she tended to get better. And then it didn't happen. I paid 50,000 over my dog's life in insurance and only used it twice. So used about 4K worth of cover that I could use cash to make my life better for me, and gave the dog, but gave it to those scammy. I don't know what insurance you went with. That sounds pretty ridiculously expensive. The one I saw was like not that expensive. But it's all about means, I suppose. And it's also about who you can actually get. I mean, the flip side of that is if you'd have had a particularly sick dog, you'd have ended up paying way, way more over those odds. I guess the other thing you can do is just put some money aside and make sure that you have it. Make sure that you make your own pot. And, you know, if the cat, if the dog, if whatever does get ill, you've got money that's for them. So, I don't know. It's just lots of things that I've been thinking of. That's like not having car insurance because you've never crashed. Yeah. That is like the whole point of insurance is it's in the name. It's just in case. But 50,000 does seem like a lot of my dog. Do you mean like for a singular dog? Like how much were you paying a month? Just out of interest. He had conditions, so we had to pay extra for the privilege. Right. So did the dog have conditions? So presumably that you knew about before you started getting insurance. Because what the whole point is, get it as soon as possible. Because if you get it early, the earlier you get it, the less it costs, and it kind of stays in that. At least as I understand it. Obviously, some of them just take the piss.
Okay, I'm back. The girls are a bit upset.
What are the girls upset about?
Because they can hear you.
Oh. Well, that's unfortunate. Lots of insurance policies stop when the animal gets to a certain age. Money in the pot is a good idea. Yeah, like I don't know. The right thing to do. Feels very easy. Like I said, in hindsight, it's pets are better than humans. We are not worthy of them. Certainly better than some humans. Also, like, as much as I got so many fantastic comments, there's one type of comment that I got that did bother me. And if you've made this kind, you really need to you need to buck up your ideas because it's not cool. Some people started saying about how cats were just better than dogs and that dog people will never know their pain. Holy fuck. Don't. Do not do that. That was not cool. That was not cute. That was not called for. Pets are pets. They're parts of your family. If you think that your pain is more valid because of your preferences, you're a wanker. Like, on no uncertain terms, I was not happy when I saw a couple of those kinds of comments. They made me very upset. As someone who loves both cats and dogs, but even if I didn't, even if I only liked cats, you are talking quietly. I mean, that's unsurprising. But yeah. If I'm too quiet, just turn up your volume. Yeah, she had an elbow displaced, so we had to pay top premiums because we were told the operation could cost over 10K. You never needed the operation in the end. I guess the other thing you could have done is, like, if you can do the calculus as well. That's one of the things about insurance is, I guess it relies on you expecting it to work in your favor and that it'll be sooner rather than later. But if you do the calculus and figure out how much it could cost in the long run, like the operation to fix it, would it have fixed it like permanently or relatively permanently? Because you might have been able to save up. I don't know. Like, again, no. figuring stuff out after the fact is much easier than making split decisions. Fucking doing on the day, there were so many questions I didn't have the headspace to answer, but I had to. I hated that. That was so bad. I had to do this with Joey Sweet Treat 7 years ago. You had a pet called Joey Sweet Treat. That's fucking adorable. I still feel like a murderer, but I couldn't let him suffer. I cherish the Goofy Boy memories now. I said it in my post, is that it was the right decision and I hate myself for it. Like there's no other way I can put it. Like I hate the fact that I could make that decision. Like it makes me feel like a bad person. And I understand that I shouldn't, and it was the right thing, and to allow her to continue suffering would have been incredibly selfish. Like we part of our sort of grieving process over these last few days has been to talk about what really could we have done. We were in that situation, and it was nothing. There was no thing that we could have done that would have helped her and kept her alive that didn't involve undue suffering. So that sort of really wrapping your head around that idea did help. Sic, sorry for your loss. I lost both my kittens within days of each other, and my dog a few years later. That sucks. Yeah. Again, some people have had theirs go in the same week as us, and that, I don't want to say it helped me, but it gave me a certain perspective that, like, so one of the things I noticed, and that we've talked about, is that it's amazing how inappropriate music sounds when you're grieving, because we had to spend a lot of time in taxis and a lot of time in a vet which had music playing in the background, and it just feels like, how does the world not know what I'm going through? Which is so weird, and we fully understand it. Like, obviously the world continues, but you do feel very much like you're the only person in the world. The solipsism is real when you are deeply mournful. Mournful. But seeing other people were going through it at the same time, it didn't make me feel any better, but it did make me feel less alone. And I think that feeling less alone is good. That's part of why I thought I should do this, is because some people are currently doing this, and they probably will in the next few weeks, and they like my stuff, and maybe this stream will be comforting for them. Maybe hearing the thoughts and concepts that someone else is currently thinking, and that it's okay to think them. It's okay to feel like an asshole, but also the the understanding of the compartmentalizing, the what do they call it when you hold two ideas at the same time? My brain, I'm pretty frazzled at the moment, if you couldn't tell. That you holding two disparate ideas.
Cognitive dissonance.
That's the one. Disparate dissonance. Yeah. Is real. Like, feel like bad person, did right thing. They're not. They seem opposed, but they can both be true. They're like actually both be true. My vet had a candle he lit when an animal had to be put down. The sign said, "Silence, someone is here grieving." That was an odd one. That was one that I struggled with as well, because the vet we went to is kind of a veterinary hospital, and it had quite a large waiting area. So there was a bunch of people there, and they were all just like, la 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 la, we've got our pet, we're so happy. And there was us, a family of four, bawling our bastard eyes out. And it felt very strange. Grief is the price we pay for love. That's I don't know if it's nice, but it's accurate. Just reaffirms how important it is to truly enjoy the time you get. Yeah. Sorry, that's rough. Pet insurance, by the way, often doesn't cover a lot of the stuff anyway. At best, oftentimes you have to pay the fee, and they might reimburse you a portion of it. I imagine potentially too. I imagine. See, that's the thing. I'm not doing it. I haven't done it. I didn't do it, and I feel bad, and maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I was right not to do that. I don't know. But like, if your insurance covers just going to see the vet, or at least makes it fractional of the cost, you're more likely to do it. And that's a thing, especially when your pet gets older. I do think that there's like a time, like a perfect time to get the insurance. Um, I don't know. I feel regret for not doing it, and maybe if one of you gets it, it might make your life easier in the future. It might not. It's insurance. It's a gamble. That's what insurance is. Gambling on the chance that things might be much worse than you'd hope. Have you released your anger yet? I've certainly been angry at people. I got one particular comment. Again, 99% absolute beautiful support. I've seen one actual dickhead who used this to attack me, and another who scripture ninjaed on that post. And you've got to think, you see something like that and you think, now's the time. What a piece of human garbage you have to be. Like, actually, you have zero empathy. You think that you're giving out all the empathy, but you're actually like a machine, like a robot that can only vomit out this pre-scripted script and can't just say, man, that sucks. Like, if they had a brain, they had an opportunity there. I don't think you should. I think taking advantage of people when they're grieving is fucking shit. But there's like better ways you could do it. If you'd have come to me and said, I really feel so terrible for you. I just want to let you know that in moments like these, my faith gives me comfort, and then you leave. That would have been more effective as a recruitment tool than Jesus is God, blah de blah, fockety bockety bock, which is all I fucking see when I read these things. And now I'm pushed further away from the light because of you. Like, how lost in sin do you have to be pushing people away? It's actually, it's a little bit funny. And it's also completely fucking rageful. It's just, you feel a lot of things.
Scripture ninja's my thing.
Scripture ninja, never heard that phrase. Yeah, Mrs. Sic told it to me, and I thought it was the funniest thing I'd fucking ever heard.
I used to get people...
Because it's so accurate.
They put a line from the Bible, and then when you try and talk to them, they just don't say anything. They've already gone.
Yeah, they're not there anymore. They appear, poof, Jesus is God, poof, gone.
Yeah, like a ninja.
No, what's the fucking one? Like a bat. It's
like a fart. Yeah.
Like a fart in the wind. I guess my one thing is, why does dealing with death give so much pain internally? Because I haven't felt the pain dull. The pain still feels sharp. It's so weird. Like,
it's a full body experience. It really is.
The hours coming up to, because we knew what was going to happen about 6 to 8 hours before it did. I dropped her off at the vet for her procedure. On the taxi home, I got a phone call saying, I'm really concerned about this lump that you think is an abscess because it feels wrong. But I'm going to check it for you. And they did some blood work and they did some other things, and yeah, and about an hour or so later, so that was the first oh fuck moment. But there was some hope. Hope, oh, hate hope. Hope is the worst. Really fucks with you. Hope is good and hope is awful. Yeah, but so when I had an opportunity, I told Mrs. Sick exactly what was going on. And then I got the phone call that basically confirmed all the worst. And they wanted to. They said, "Oh, you can come down at 1:30. This is while the kids are still at school." I was like, "Well, no, I'm not going to be one of those parents who has the pet put down and just, oh, by the way, your dog's dead," kind of shit. I experienced that as a kid, and I hate it. That is just one of the worst things. So we decided that we would take the kids to say goodbye. And holy fucking shit, was that one of the hardest things I've ever done. And it's easily the hardest thing the kids have ever done. And they were super brave and they got through it. And it fucking sucked. But I hope that in 2 or 3 years' time, when they're thinking about, their first pet, that they'll be so happy, in a sense, that they had that chance to say goodbye. Because I regret it personally. Now, I mean, that doesn't apply to everyone. Not everyone's the same. But if I'm wrong, then so be it. But the phrase is, you should never regret not doing something. You should only regret the things you've done. Better to regret having been there, having tried, having fucked up, than to never even been near it. May I ask how old your kids are? They're sort of tweens. They're twins as well. They're quite young, but old enough to be incredibly cognizant. They're in big school. Both so caring parents. I mean, I think we try our best. Lost my oldest cat on Christmas Eve. Oh, that fucking sucks. Oh, dude. We had was it Christmas Eve that we had the leak? I think it was something like that.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah. And we thought that sucked. Yours sucked way worse. I'm so sorry for you. Not getting to say goodbye is devastating. Yeah. And that happened time and time again. I don't know if my parents thought they would be, like, sometimes it was because the pet just died in their sleep. But more than one time, one of them, the one that particularly sort of drives me crazy, is that the cat that was essentially my cat and I absolutely doted on was just one day given away without, like, I was not consulted. I was not spoken to about it. It was just a thing that happened and she was gone. I had to find out from my brother. And then some years later, I'd found out I was having a conversation with a parent, and I said, "Oh yeah, and my cat, I think I see her sometimes. Da 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 da. I really miss her." And their response was, "And then she died." And it's like, what? It's like, yeah, 6 months after she was given away, she passed away. It's like, fucking a heads up would have been nice. Oh, I thought I told you. You didn't fucking tell me when you gave her away. What makes you think you told? You don't tell me anything, dumbass. Yeah. So I did not want to do that. One of my most important parenting piece of advice that I could ever give anybody. Anything that your parents ever did that you fucking hated, don't do that to your kids. Don't ever use the fact that your parents did that to you as an excuse to do it to your kids, because that makes you a giant toss piece. But don't do that to your kids. It hurt you. Don't hurt them. Because that's fucking insanity. It's the stupidest thing that I hear from people, I see from people. It drives me fucking crazy. It seems so obvious to me. But yeah, my parents made lots of mistakes. I generally, I wouldn't say I'm over it, but like, I get the fact I've made mistakes.
You don't get over things.
Okay. But we figured out that was less about, like, I do hold grudges, but it turns out that it's sort of a justice thing. I am quite justice-brained. And I find injustice intolerable. So, yeah, when people... I know that I've made mistakes, but for one thing, I try to apologize for them. I try to apologize for them fast. And that anything that my parents did that I didn't like, I try not to do. I spent most of my young years in one area, and then my parents decided to move me away because they wanted to live somewhere else. Not for any good reason either. Like, it wasn't for work or for something that was necessary.
For the non-Britishers, a toss piece is basically a penis.
Is a toss piece garbage? Well, toss is to wank.
And the piece is the penis.
It's the penis. So a toss piece is a cock. I mean, I could actually be wrong about that, but I'm from context, I'm pretty sure that that's what that is. Sorry, I drank all your whiskey. Yeah, like I'm not gonna lie. I have definitely eaten some of the kids' sweets because they were there, but I fucking replaced them.
Yeah.
My parents
usually with better ones.
My parents would have a habit of saying, well, I had it because I wanted it and you left it out or something. And it's like, what the fuck, dude? That's not cool. It's just simple, basic things. Take accountability for yourself.
Oh, God, there's a lot of penis in the UK language, definitely.
Oh, half of the UK slang is just about the penis.
Definitely.
I like you and your work here even more now. Thanks for sharing. I appreciate that. I'm not perfect. People like, when I just say like my simple opinions, people can be like, I'm so glad, that's really good, and you've got such good principles and stuff. It's like, I'm not perfect. Don't fucking... I'm sure you're not idolizing me in any way, and I'm not trying to say that. But I do get some people that get a bit
You're
much.
not a beacon.
Yeah. Like, I am very fallible. That painfully fallible, but I think it's... There's a reason that this is called a terrible stream for terrible people. A, laziness. And it excuses it. But B, because I think the best kind of person is someone who knows that they can be shit. It's very easy to be shit. It's very hard to admit it and to try to be better. Too many people are just incapable of the second part. There's a band called The Tosses. I am completely unsurprised by that concept. A whiskey in honor of Sic Kitty. Certainly, I'm not going to lie. Both me and Mrs. Sic have had a significant amount to drink over the last few days. It's been something. We did random. We've been trying. We wanted to try some wines because we've been watching this guy. If you type in YouTube wine guy, the first person who comes up, in my experience, is this just very eccentric British dude. But he makes wine quite interesting. So we've been trying like various fairly fancy, like not expensive, like still like £8 to £10 a bottle, but like the good £8 to £10 a bottles. Don't worry, you're too young to be idolized. Anybody can be idolized at any age. It's just a thing that happens. But yeah, I'm
Oh,
just
we don't talk about the merch store. That is the looming
yeah.
albatross around Sic's neck.
You want something that I fuck up? It's the fact that I don't just sit down and fix the fucking merch store. We have a bit of merch to put on it, and I just never find the time. Rotten grape juice? Not really. You mean grape whiskey? Yes, I mean grape whiskey. But they've been quite nice, and we experimented because the thing they say is have a red with a steak. For the first time in my life, I cooked a steak good. I was going to say well, but that's not what I mean. I meant good. Medium rare is our amount. And I found this recipe, this cooking style, and it was basically a minute on each side at a high heat, and then you stick a knob of butter on it, and like some rosemary, and then you just
salt and pepper and stuff.
You salt and pepper the shit out of it first, and you do that, and then you baste it with the butter, and then you serve it, and it was fucking delicious. Like, it's the best steak I've ever had. And I cooked it. I was so impressed with myself.
And then you enhanced it with wine.
And then we did the red wine. We did some fancy red wines, and it was nice. It was like really nice. It was a very, very pleasant meal. Kind of, I sort of thought of it as seeing the weekend of grief out on a high note, on a good note, so that it wasn't all just doom and gloom and shit. I don't cook steaks. I just bite a passing steer. Yes, I'm a savage. I thought you were going to say that you don't cook it. You just like show it a pan, like because you do blue steaks or something. It's like, this is what a pan looks like. Now I shall eat you. I was a bit confused. I thought you were buttering the wine. No, I was buttering a steak. Best steak I've ever had. It was very yummy. It's ironic that your steak can be done well or well done, but not both. Yeah, people who fucking do crazy things like braise, or they'll braise their steak, but they won't cook it for fucking hours, which is what you're supposed to do so that it like falls apart. It's weird. Sounds like a great meal. It was. Can also add a piece of garlic to that butter and rosemary. I did the rosemary, but I forgot to get garlic. Goose fat, yeah. Lies, well done is the only part. Oh, no, you don't.
No.
You need to learn.
I thought the same thing, and then Sic introduced me to medium rare, and it's
just try it once on a good one. Go somewhere that does really good steaks.
Actually does good steaks, and not just says, "Here you go, here's your medium rare," and you're like, "But this is well done."
There is no pink is good. Pink is not bad. R.I.P. steak.
As long as it's not red, you're fine. Or blue, I guess.
Anyway, yeah. So the other thing I thought about, I don't know if anybody wants to share, if they've got any little stories, if they have any heartbreak that they've wanted to get off their chest. Like some of you already have, but you're welcome to do so. I'm surprised at how well, like, coming up to this, like, I spent like 20 minutes trying to title this video. Like, I thought there were so many things, and every sort of even remotely clever thing just made me feel sad. Oatmeal, brown muffins, and whiskey. Yes, that actually sounds pretty good. I put all my heartbreak into terrible songs. I have a heartbreak song which I haven't been able to listen to.
Somebody wrote me a poem, which was really nice.
Yeah. Did you manage to read it eventually?
Yeah.
Yeah. She couldn't. You couldn't read it for like the first couple of days.
I couldn't listen to anything or read anything.
Yeah. Like when we were talking about the inappropriate music, one of them was that Dido song. The Dido song that's from Stan, but it's actually a Dido song. And I was like, oh yeah, so like we were fairly, I think this was a day or so in, and like It was a time when we were not crying, we were not seemingly super upset, and I was trying to make fun of it, and then I sang it out loud, and how stupid the bit was. Fucking bawling. Absolutely bawled my goddamn eyes out. Because, yeah, it's now become one of those songs. And that's an interesting thing, that you can't, you don't get to decide what makes you sad. Like in terms of external to the thing. I'm addicted to long grain and wild rice. I learned that wild rice isn't even rice. What
Is
what
it grass?
what is the difference between like rice and wild rice? Part of PTSD is not being able to grieve. Is that strictly the case? Or is that a common thing? I've got to assume that it's not strictly the case. I lost my grandma last year and lost my dad since 2009. Jesus Christ. Sorry for your loss, though I don't know the details. Yeah. Always hard to hear about this. My condolences. Yeah, I mean, it was fucking hard to go through, I'll be honest. It also makes you feel really weird. And I know most of you, if not all of you, will fully you fully understand Kitty, Doggo, these are family members. I think someone earlier mentioned like a tarantula. Like a pet's a pet's a pet. Doesn't fucking matter. If you cared about them, if you spent a significant amount of time with them, if you love them, when they go, it hurts. Oh, I'll tell you what made me angry. I won't get into too much specifics, but a member of one of our families decided to take it upon themselves to say that they were going to a funeral for a friend of theirs that they'd known for 30 years, and that we should get over it, and we should get a cat in like 2 weeks. This friend that they'd known for 30 years, no, they knew them 30 years ago and were going to their funeral uninvited. It's not the same. And even if it was your friend that you knew since you were a child and you spent all your time with them, grief, it's not a competition. So I am afraid that if I talk to this person, that I am going to say some choice words. So I've been very, very much thinking through everything I'm going to say. Yeah. Now, that's not to say that they didn't care about this person many years ago, although I doubt it. They just kind of knew them. That's kind of how they interact with people in general. And that they're not going through anything, but you just don't be shitty about it. There's no need to be shitty about it. Telling people to get over things that you're not currently experiencing or the same version is just shit.
Yeah, my mum said, what a pillock.
Yeah. As someone who has lost both a child and pets, yeah, I hate when people try to turn it into the suffering Olympics. Pain isn't a competition and loss sucks, period.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry about the people you lost.
Yeah, that's losing a child. I have can't fucking imagine.
I cannot imagine.
Yeah.
And I hope I'd never have to. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Grief is grief is grief is grief. That's infuriating. Yes, take your anger out on them. If I'd have spoken to them on the day,
yeah,
I'd have made them fucking cry.
You would have several earfuls of that one.
And not a single person in the land would have blamed me for doing so. Yeah. I am only terrible to jackasses. Yeah, jackasses deserve it. Plus people being stupid. Like intentionally being ridiculous. Like there's no reason to be stupid. Just think about things for a second. It's so stupid to say something like that. It's so obvious why that was the wrong thing to say. It's so selfish not to even try. Hurt people hurt people. And so do fucking idiots without realizing it. And then la 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 la.
Yeah, it wasn't malicious. It's just incredibly insensitive.
Yeah. This is a person known for their insensitivity. After Mrs. Sic had just given birth to our 2 twins, she was pretty fucking enormous because they were twins.
I'm small.
She's small. She was in a lot of pain, and so doing stuff was very difficult. About 2 weeks after giving birth, this person told her that it was time to start losing weight. Just unfucking believable. Just out of the park. Wow. Go and fuck yourself. What got to us was a person who said effectively, "Why are you crying? It's just a dog."
Ugh,
Yes, and that dog had more
God.
humanity than you, was my reply. Oh, fuck yeah.
Nice. Good one.
Yeah. When my grandparents died on my father's side, I shrugged. They were never Gramps and Granny or Nan. If that makes sense. Why my grandparents died on my mother's side, however, that is a thing. Like there are people in my extended family that I'm fairly sure I'm not going to give much of a shit about when they die. And that does. It's one of those things that I think concerned me, especially before this week. Because you worry about yourself. You worry, am I just a monster? Like these people have done things. These people have done things, behaved in ways that are inexcusable.
Abhorrent.
But
is
you
the
hear
word.
other people. You hear other people talk about things that, and they've had family act significantly worse, in my opinion, and they still love them, and I find that baffling. I'm very much the kind of person who, if you fuck me, then you might as well be dead to me. I don't care.
Wow, thanks.
You've never hurt me. You're too weak.
You said fuck. If you fuck me.
Oh, I meant hurt.
Yeah, I knew what you meant. But
Not if you have the sex at me.
I'm gonna hurt you.
If you screw me over. I can't comprehend the lack of empathy in so many people lately. I think there's more empathy than you realize, but it's very easy to be in spaces where there seems to be none. And one of the problems is like what they call vice signaling. It can be considered very cool to be a genuine asshole to people. Like, I'm an asshole.
Holy shit.
When people are saying stupid things. But, like, if you see, there's a very big difference between someone saying something stupid about reality. Like, I'm not fucking invested in reality. You shouldn't be invested personally, as if the critique of your understanding of reality shouldn't, like, it's not the same as a family member dying, ultimately. If they said, my family member died, like when people will criticize me and saying, "Oh, you wouldn't say XYZ to someone whose child had just died," and I'm like, obviously fucking not. How do you think that that's a comparable situation to this? Are you a moron, or are you trying to take one situation, apply it to a different one in order to call me a bad person? Because you're actually, in my opinion, far worse than I am, and I'm an asshole, fully admitted, card-carrying dickhead. But you're just a cunt. Like, go fuck yourself.
I lost my granny on Christmas Eve, and at the funeral, the pastor that did the funeral spent most of the time using it as an altar call. Jesus.
Yeah, shit like that.
Unbelievable.
This person died, and he wouldn't have if he'd have been to church more, you fucking pieces of shit. I mean, if they said it like that, that's at least more respectable. But holy fuck. Didn't want them dead. There was just never a bond. Yeah. I think the one thing that you can... Here's my concern for certain members of my family who I had been sort of close to, but sort of as I grew up, I realized that they were not good for me, not good for my mental health. My concern is that I won't be upset that they're gone in the traditional sense, but I'll be devastated by the loss of who they could have been. There's an excellent episode of BoJack Horseman. I don't recall what the name of the episode is. I could find it pretty easily, but essentially, it's him doing the eulogy at his mother's funeral, and it's not specific to mothers or anything, but there are certain people that I very much resonate with that about. If I did a eulogy for that member of my family,
Churro, that was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was such a good episode.
It's so fucking good. It's really hard. Especially if you've lost someone. There's things to feel. But yeah, that was an amazing episode in its own way. There's lots of amazing episodes of that show. Me and Mrs. Sic had been working our way through it, but we had to stop because it's a pretty hard show. I told her it was good. She didn't figure out it was good. It's not until like season 2 that it starts kicking you in the dick. But yeah. I get accused of wanting anti-vaxxers to die all the time. Do you walk around with a big sign that says "Die anti-vaxxers, die"?
Or a giant syringe just pointing at them, and it's like a bayonet on the end.
Do you shed on them?
Oh my god!
Because that might be why they think that.
It's the idea is just like you're really ashy and you're just like rubbing your skin next.
That's not what that meant.
I know what it means, but still, it's just the actual.
That's just the image.
It's the concept of just rubbing your dandruff on other people.
But yeah, someone who thinks that if you disagree with them, that means that you hate them, and it's like being so personally invested in an idea that anybody who disagrees with you must be doing it maliciously is wild. But it is a common trope. It's a why, and it's kind of gotten out there. It's zeitgeisty that when you get the people who, and these are the people that I genuinely dislike, they're agnostic, and they'll let you know in a sort of, well, I call them smug Gnostics. They think being an agnostic means like an atheist, but better than them, and also better than theists. And what they're really preaching is fence city bullshit. And yeah, and they're like, why can't we just get along? And it's like, why can't you just fall off a bridge? I just don't. There's no good reason. Like, there are plenty of good reasons to be an agnostic, obviously. But there's no good reason to be a fucking prick about it.
Like, if you're unsure about things,
yeah,
and you just kind of go out of your way to learn about things, then, so that you can form an opinion properly.
But it's to be specific, it's not about the fact that whether or not someone is or isn't atheist or isn't agnostic. It's about the self-identifiers of it. I would consider myself to be an agnostic atheist, but I'm still an atheist. I still don't believe in God, but I don't believe that I can know or anybody can know. But someone might be agnostic, but they absolutely don't believe. And like in technical terms, I would say you're probably an atheist, but they don't want to.
They don't want to admit.
They don't. Well, it's more a labeling thing. They don't want to label themselves as that because, from their perspective, it comes with baggage. But most of that baggage is things that theists have pushed out, rather than it being like the most recent video. There's someone in the comment section just railing against both sidesing, and I went through the comment section saying, everyone here just thinks they're cleverer than everyone else. Well, all the atheists still think they're cleverer than everyone else, and they're acting like it's a religion. Da, 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 da. And I went through, and I saw a little bit of vitriol, which is to be expected. I saw some pretty nasty comments from theists. I don't mind. I don't have a problem with that. But it was interesting that this person was blind to the theists actually attacking people personally, and saw the atheists as them being somewhat vitriolic. But it's like, if you believe this idea, you're probably a dumbass, against you're an atheist because you have brain damage.
Thank you, Duck.
And it's like, what the fuck? Yeah, and I think that they have that kind of mindset because they just believe what theists say about atheists. Not to say that there aren't bad atheists. Of course there fucking are.
Yeah,
They make me cringe, and I make
they're
fun
people. Of course, there's bad ones.
Yeah. I think part of the issue is that agnostic is used in two different ways: the fence sitter way and the I don't claim to know for a fact way. Yeah, I mean, it's more complicated than just being straight up. This is what it means. This isn't what it means, and there's no denying anything. Blah blah blah. But yeah. Well, what does that say about me being a Christian who listens to this good content? Because I've asked myself, am I truly a Christian constantly?
You can be a Christian, but willing to listen to other opinions.
And also, you can be unsure. I do think that any of us should be willing to listen. Like, I might make fun of arguments, but I fucking consider them. Like, I sit down and I think about what I believe about it, what it says, and how much it convinces me. And the answer so far has always been not very, it doesn't. But, yeah, like, everybody should do that about whatever they believe. And you just are a normal person who is a Christian.
One of the rules of philosophy is you put your personal, like, emotions aside in order to actually just deal with the facts of a situation. But a lot of people find it really hard to put their emotions to the side in order to actually analyze something.
Well, here's a major thing about, like, I suffer from an anxiety disorder. So when someone comes up to me and says, God is watching and he's going to fuck you up and you're going to get all screwed up and you can't believe how stupid you are when you're burning in hell and looking up to heaven and all that shit. And, like, there's a part of my brain that goes, oh, fuck. Have I screwed up? Oh, no. And then I think about it, that I use the rational part of my brain to really go through the things that they've said, why they've said it, why these ideas came to any kind of popularity. And obviously, it's manipulative bullshit. It's there to make you, to try and get to that part of you, to try and trick you into overriding your reason with emotions. And that's part of why it's so fucked up. But yeah, that's why you have to separate yourself from how you feel about an idea.
Critical thought, exactly.
Yeah. You have to separate yourself from how you feel about an idea and truly figure out what you believe, what it says, and how you not how you feel about, how you know about it.
I think a lot of it as well is having a willingness to, like, actually learn about other people's ideas.
Yeah. Well,
like, even if you don't fully agree with someone's ideas, you can at least listen to them and then come to a conclusion based on what you have learned and researched and all that lot.
Yeah. Another part of why I do this is I'm fascinated with why people believe things. Like, I find that very interesting. I find it very interesting why someone can take an idea that is obviously ludicrous to me and it's completely reasonable to them. I find that deeply interesting. But it's, it's just, you can't know. Have you ever seen the YouTube video, Science Saved My Soul? No, but it sounds like I should watch it. If any of you ever have a video that you've seen that, like, would make good content fodder, I don't know if that's a content fodder one or if it's, like, actually just a good video.
Yeah, share good videos as well. That's fine.
Share good videos with me. I love that shit. Do warn me. Do say, this is a good video for content. This is a good video just to enjoy and watch, and it's awesome. She blinded me with science. It's called phosphorus. But yeah. Well, it's been an hour, and that went much better than I expected it to.
I honestly thought that I'd be crying at this point.
Yeah, we both were convinced. I've had a couple of moments, especially at the start, but I got through it. I am a manliest of man. Never cry. You've never heard it. There's no evidence of me crying. Even when I said I did, I was lying to own the libs or something stupid like that.
You don't cry. You you leak testosterone. Yes.
Yeah, I leak manliness from my face.
Oh my god.
Which just sounds like I cry cum. Yeah. Thank you all so much. Every kind word, every comment in here, just for coming and hanging out with me. Every week, honestly, and hopefully I'll see you next week. I will properly. I know I didn't stream on Sunday for the Pixel Chalice. I will Sunday coming up. Mrs. Sic is streaming Lies of P DLC. Go check that out. It is good. She is so much better at that game than she has any right to be. And,
wow, thanks.
She's not allowed to be good. Yeah, and we'll see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.